And welcome to Big Scott 35 Nerdy Thursday. It's 12/15/22. First, I'm going to start off with some pickups, and then we'll get into the meat of this one. Probably won't be a long one today. We're going to just talk about Andor, TV show on the Disney Plus, and I think they're showing it on some regular channels as well now after it came out. So check your local listings if you don't have the Plus. First pickup I have is I do have a PS5. I have not hooked it up yet, but the reason I wanted it was for this game. I've been really eager to play it. I finally picked it up. I still got other games I want to play, but I just want to kind of play this one while it's kind of in, people's minds, or they're actually playing it, because I think there is some multiplayer in it. Yeah, 1 to 2 network players. But Gotham Knights, it's Robin, the Red Mask, which used to be a Robin, and the other then they have what is this one? What's the other third name? It's on the tip of my tongue, and he used to be a Robin as well. And then you got Batgirl, and you can play as his characters. It's supposed to be really well done. I don't know about the gameplay. I really haven't seen much on it, so kind of iffy there, I guess. Next is a game that's an old game, but they released it on Switch. So I got this at Limited Run Games. This has been re-released as a download on a lot of the newer consoles. But what Limited Run does is take like games that blow up as a download, and they've been doing all the Star Wars ones, remaking them and making them into an actual physical copy. So I like to go on there and pick those up, and they do come with cards. So, I just love that, and this one will probably get graded. So that's him cutting an AT-AT at in half with his laser sword, otherwise known as a lightsaber. So again, it's funny. It's just gonna be a little thing in there. Love my Switch. And last, staying with the Star Wars theme today. I've been looking for this. I don't know if they made this in the Black Series or not, but this is the 332nd Ashoka's Clone Trooper. A little background. So in the Clone Wars cartoon series, she ended up running her own Clone Trooper division. And before she quit being a Jedi. And that's, I guess they picked up, because I always say they keep saying that she's a Jedi. She's not a Jedi because she walked away from it. She just has, that kind of defines it. But I guess, Luke kind of brought her back in, and you'll see it in, I think, the Book of Fett. So when she comes back in the Clone Wars last season to lead her group, to welcome her back and show respect, they all painted her face likeness on their masks of their helmets to show respect to her. So that was really, really cool. And if you watch the whole thing, the end, it kind of, it's a little moving at the end after, if you watch it in the Order 66 and all that, how she gets through that. And you'll see Vader, which is, not getting, if you don't know who Vader is by now, I'm not shouldn't be spoiling that for you, but he's Anakin Skywalker, which was her her teacher, her master, if you when she was a Padawan. So picking up her lightsabers and knowing who was there and seeing the masks, and it's just very, very cool how they ended the Clone Wars. It kind of opened it up for how they really, I got to give it to Star Wars. If you're a Star Wars fan, I know people are like, some of the stuff they're making they're not liking. I am a Star Wars fan, that if it's Star Wars, I'm going to like it at some level. Some is always better than others. And I'm always going to love watching it at some level. I know some people poo-pooed on Boba Fett and Mandalorian for being slow and having slow. If you watch sci-fi or stuff like that, there's going to be slow parts. They want to tell a story, and a lot of times it's reflects what's going on in the world now. I can't remember what year in high school literature was. I could select like different English stuff, and I took literature, and we did 6 weeks of nothing but sci-fi, and how sci-fi, if you read, when you're reading it, it reflects whatever is going on in the world at the time, most of the time, or in the past, but most of the time it's a reflection of what's going on in the world and just put in a sci-fi situation. So, they want to tell a story, and I've really liked all of them. So people want perfection, and you first thing I tell people especially when you watch Star Wars or anything like that, Marvel, any DC Comics, the G.I. Joe movies that everybody pooped on, you have to remember these are made to be watched through a 10-year-old's eyes, right? 11-year-old eyes. They don't make the figures in theory for a 50-year-old man. I mean, I'm sure the Black Series is more geared for adults, but the toys, they made Star Wars basically because they knew there were going to be a toy line. Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, they all signed contracts that, not because they didn't have a lot of money to make the movie, they signed contracts for anything that was sold for their likeness. So they were smart. They knew what was coming, what was trying to be done. So you just got to keep that in mind when you're watching stuff. It's made more for, it's not made for kids, but you got to remember, I love Star Wars because I was an 8-year-old, 7-year-old. First time I saw Darth Vader and the stormtroopers come on that ship in New Hope. You can't get that. That's like chasing the dragon, man. You just can't get that feeling back. And now I'm watching it through adult eyes. Now, when I watch that movie, I'm right back to being a little kid. But when you're watching other stuff, the prequels, the third set, I did not like. Well, I did enjoy because it was Star Wars, but the last three to me were just kind of made to make the last three. Not a lot of thought into them. Especially the 9th movie. Whew. But that's enough talking about that. So I go off on tangents, especially when I'm talking about things I love, like everything on my channel. I get long-winded, but we're going to talk about Star Wars Andor. And I think a lot of people like this because it looks like it was made more as a TV series, some longevity to it, good depth, storytelling, character background. So I think a lot of people really got into it. It wasn't more cartoonish and stuff like that. And also Rogue One, for the one-offs, was my favorite. Rogue One has been, outside the first 4, 5, and 6, my favorite movie, because I think it had so much to do with New Hope. So then you go back and you make a prequel to Rogue One, which was a prequel to New Hope in between 3 and 4. I think that's where people get their love. And what I really like is I like backstories on, like, early Empire. I've read some of the books. I can't say a lot because there's a lot I still need to read. So that's a very large number. But I like to read. I go to the Stormtrooper stuff, first, because it just gets in their mindset. But in this one, it's not so much Stormtroopers as like the upper echelon and the captains, lieutenants, things like that. That you want to see, like, their mindset, how they get ahead, how they stab each other in the back. It's very ruthless, the leadership in the Empire, and you see their halls and how they build stuff. It's very how it's done early on. It's not a lot there, and just how they come in and just take over planets, and it's how they deal with things. They try to sympathize with what's going on, and then once that doesn't work, they just totally take it over. And I won't get into how that relates to not stuff now, but in the past, colonizations, colonialism. But it's just kind of I love that stuff, and how Andor becomes a spy, in the rebellion, and this is, he's not even really a spy. He's just doing like a guerrilla warfare, actually, in this one, more than he is as a spy. In Star Wars, always, he gets arrested, and then and I don't want to give too much of it away, because it's relatively new. So he gets arrested, and I just say this: he goes and he's in a work center, and the stuff they're making, you see in the last episode, as lights go dim, it's making the Death Star laser. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of not weird. Lucas did a good job at this, and now they're carrying on that tradition. So I hope they do more in the Star Wars world like this. And another part I really liked is I didn't see a lightsaber in this whole film. I didn't see a Jedi. I didn't see anything said. I don't even think I heard Vader's voice brought up. It's just, it was, I've been saying all along, there's such a large universe, everything, why does everything have to revolve around Jedi and Sith, or Jedi, not even Sith? Because I've always said, if you're going to do something, I wish they would go back to the beginning, not the beginning, but there was a Sith world, and then the Rule of Two. That all would be cool to watch, to find out how the Sith are, where they're at in these movies. But it's real refreshing to see that they can write a whole season and not really have any of that in it. That was kind of cool. And then seeing characters that come up in future movies in canon, it's pretty cool. And I've already seen some of the figures coming out for this Black Series. Nothing too, for me as it comes to that part of the world. I really like Andor. I think the guy that's playing it is doing a great job. It's I got it over here because I wanted Diego Luna, who was in Rogue One. That's pretty. He does a great job. He could be ruthless and caring all at the same time. whatever he needs to get done, he gets done. And he's a smart guy. He's always, you know, he wants to know everything before he jumps in, as much, you know, reconnaissance as possible, which is smart, especially in spy land. So I'm interested in season 2. They ended it real well with him, and all, you know, how that goes. You know, I want to see a little bit more of Mon Mothma, how she, because eventually she's going to have to run. Um, you know, it's kind of all of that to me. I really like this building of the rebellion, and showing you how the rebellion gets started, other than it's there. And it's really nice to see that. And I think they did a great job, and why so many people again like this and that are grown up is because it's done in a grown up way. So with that being said, you know, let me know what y'all think about it. If you're interested in watching it, if you haven't, you know, some things I might have missed. My buddy Wesker Griff put a thing on a couple weeks ago to talk about it, which I'm more than happy to. So I have not watched the season finale of Walking Dead yet, and when I do, I'll talk about that. Or the not season finale, the whole thing, shoot caboodle finale for that. I think it's because I don't want it to. There's a part of me that just once it's watched, it's finalized, it's done. You know, this season was pretty good. So interested in watching that, seeing how it ends and sets up for the spinoffs. And you know, again, let me know what else, anything else you want me to talk to in the nerdy word verse on my 2 cents. Again, I'm no expert on any of this. I just it's just something I'm passionate about and love to, you know, love to play with in the sandbox. I just can't do cards 24/7. I guess I could, and I come close, but I have other hobbies as well. So until next time, like, share, tell a friend, sub if you haven't. I'll be back with you Saturday for my weekly roundup and what's coming ahead. And I'll talk a little bit more about some of my sport cards. So till then, see ya.